Today in this lecture we will talk about the role of intercalated cells in reabsorption and secretion of potassium in the late distal tubule and collecting ducts. In our last lecture we talked about the role of principal cells and the role of principal cells in excretion of potassium. Now we discussed this thing that in the late distal tubule and collecting ducts, the principal cells and intercalated cells, they have to either reabsorb or secrete, potassium. Not like the proximal tubule or the thick ascending limb of the loop of Henle, where potassium is definitely reabsorbed. So these cells, the principal cells and intercalated cells in the late distal and collecting tubule, they decide either to excrete, secrete or reabsorb potassium depending upon the level of potassium in the body. So in the principal cells, what happened that normally from the basolateral side or through the help of sodium potassium Atpase, sodium goes out, potassium goes in, the concentration of potassium increases, and then the high potassium it goes out through big potassium channels and also to renal medullary potassium channel into the luminal side, and it goes out. But in the intercalated cells, we have the two types of intercalated cells, the type A intercalated cells and the type B intercalated cells. Now, intercalated cells can also sense the deficiency of potassium. In severe potassium deficiency, potassium secretion stops and net reabsorption of potassium occurs in the late distal and collecting tubule. Now, this reabsorption occurs through type A intercalated cells, mostly through hydrogen potassium Atpase on the luminal membrane, reabsorbs potassium and secretes hydrogen. On the luminal membrane, on the luminal side, what happens is there are hydrogen potassium Atpases in the intercalated cells, and they throw out hydrogen and takes in potassium. So not only are they increasing the level of potassium in the body, but they are also causing alkalosis because they are throwing out hydrogen. So hydrogen potassium Atpase increases role of hydrogen potassium Atpase increases in hypokalemia. When the deficiency of potassium occurs, the role of this hydrogen potassium Atpase increases, leading to loss of hydrogen and alkalosis. So this pump, it leads to loss of hydrogen and alkalosis. But on the other hand, it tries to correct hypokalemia, the deficiency of potassium. Now, in excess of potassium, the type B intercalated cells, they get activated on the basolateral side. Now they get activated on the basolateral side, and what they do, they will take in hydrogen and throw away potassium. The percentage, the concentration of potassium in the cells will increase, and then potassium will go out of the body into the luminal side. So that's how the opposite direction of type A and type B intercalated cells can either lead to reabsorption of potassium when there is deficiency of potassium, and secretion of potassium when there is high level of potassium in the human body. So that concludes the role of principal cells and intercalated cells in either reabsorption or secretion of potassium. Thanks a lot for watching the video.